working on my newsletter, and this week I wanted to cover foam rolling for the exercise of the week, since it's a very important factor in keeping yourself injury free. When you foam roll, what you're doing is a self-myofascial release or self-massage, and you're breaking up the knots and lesions that you build up from activities of daily living or your previous workouts. And by performing the foam rolling, you break all those knots up, lengthen your muscle, and help prevent injury, because your body is now able to function properly and do the moves in a more by functioning more normally. Anyway, there's a couple of different types. They come in various colors. The black one is probably just about the most dense. There's also a blue one that's just about as dense as the black one. The other one I have here is called the Rumble Roller. This guy is mean. He's about as mean as the massage therapist I go to who does the deep tissue massage. All these little knobby things here really get down deep and break up those knots for me quite nicely. So I'm just going to show you some of the techniques for doing the foam rolling. I usually start with the calves. So you're going to get down on the floor, and since this one's longer, I can do both legs at the same time. If I needed more intensity, then I would cross my leg over. I actually don't usually need that much intensity. I usually need to foam roll quite a bit. And this is one of those cases where if it hurts, this is when you want to do it. So anyway, you start down right by your ankles and lift up, roll till I find a spot. And then once I find that spot, I'm just going to kind of hang out on it. I can even turn my legs out a little bit and do the outer side of my calves, or it's also known as the peroneals. So you're just kind of moving up, up the leg. And then the other spot that gets very tight is the IT band. So what you want to do is you want to have your body in alignment. The bottom leg that you're going to be rolling is going to be extended out straight. Other leg is at a 90-degree angle, and you're just going to roll until you find a spot. That's a good one right there for me. So I'm just going to hang out here for a little while. You can also roll a little bit far forward and hit that rectus femoris. That is very tight for me. So I would do this on both sides. You also want to do like the inner thighs. So you essentially are laying on your stomach. Put the foam roller at an angle. Lay into it. Roll again until you find a spot. All the way up to the top of your leg or inner thigh until you find a spot and hang out. If you've got a lot of time, what you want to do is you want to hang out for about 30 seconds. If you've got a lot of time, then you can go and you can find different spots. If you're very short on time, then I recommend finding the spot that is the most painful and hanging out on that spot. And that'll actually help everything else loosen up as well. Another spot that gets pretty tight on a lot of people is the lats. So you want to be on your side. The foam roller is right below the armpit. Get in a nice straight line here. And I'm just going to kind of rock back and forth a little bit. And then move it down until I find a spot. Oh, like right there, that's perfect. So I'm just going to kind of hang out here. Lay down into it, put as much pressure on it as I can so it really gets down deep. And then if you find that like the black one isn't dense enough for you, like this spot I can tell I got a spot, but that's not really cutting it. So that's when the Rumble Roller comes in handy. Oh yeah, that got it. I barely have to lay on it. And that just gets down deep in there, and I can just roll back and forth, rock back and forth. Whew. Or I can kind of roll on it. If you need a little more intensity, you can lift your hips. but I just lay into it, and that works just fine for me. So anyway, that's one of the best ways to help keep yourself injury free. And if you do have an injury, it helps, like especially if you have knee problems. Foam roll your IT band, your inner thighs, your calves, your peroneals, that's the outside of your leg, and you tend foam roll your glutes. You'll discover that everything works so much better, and it can actually relieve a lot of that knee pain. The only time that the foam roller is really contraindicated is if you have osteoporosis. If you've got arthritis or diabetes, you might want to check with your doctor as well before performing the foam rolling. But other than that, especially for athletes, boy, it's a lifesaver. Anyway, enjoy the newsletter this week and get that foam roller and stay flexible.